Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, game number 2 coming at you now. What is Russian Dargons versus Revolution here in a best-of-3 series. Again, this is a relegation match. Right now, Revolution up 1-0, trying to stay in Diamond for a second cycle here, where Russian Dargons, there yet again, they're so close, just like they were in the qualifiers, to go into Diamond. However, they are already in a little bit of a tough spot here. Down 1-0. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve for game number 2. Joining me once again is my co-caster of today, FJ here. So, FJ, I was mentioning what Revolution is and how they are a fun team and aren't afraid to pick different. They did last game yet again with the Bramble, and again it worked out. So, I wonder what it's going to be this time around here for game 2.
We'll probably see something. Something with a lot of matching damage, I'm presuming. It's like they know exactly how to execute it at least. And
the bands there. Swiftblade, Midas, Magnus, Tremble coming out here. So Squirry respecting the Tremble there with that one. You know, interesting too that I don't know if I think they kind of just have like 6 or 7 players on the roster, like several teams do. The Russian Dargons I'm talking about here, but in the qualifiers, I remember seeing them play, and when they picked up a Silhouette, actually, I remember talking about how Cat Lamine was actually playing a very good Silhouette. He was actually really impressive to watch, honestly. Fabelli played the last game. However, I think Fabelli wasn't in the game when we did witness that a couple times, back in the qualifiers. I don't know if he's just more of a recent pickup for gold or just not happened to be there those days. But I thought that was interesting, too, the more I thought about it, looking back at that game number 1 there. But Fabelli, yeah, he's definitely more known as a carry player for sure. And it seems like that's his role here. Well, we already have a little bit of an interesting pick. The Hellbringer coming out for Revolution. This is another one that they actually ran a couple times here in the cycle. In fact, I don't know if any other team ran it but them in cycle 1. What do you think of a Hellbringer, FJ?
well, Hellbringer is, believe it or not, he is currently on the top of the Learnatorium win percentage of the hero usage. If you go to the Learnatorium, check out who's winning the most of all games. Hellbringer is the winner with 58% victories of all his games played on any rating.
Yeah. I mean, look at this though. You got Amun-Ra 2nd, Myrmidon 3rd, Calamity 4th. Like, TMM's different than competitive scene, right?
Definitely. But hey, kind of indicates that Hellbringer definitely has some power to it. I think Hellbringer is in a really good spot right now. I do not think he's underpowered by any means. He has a different role because he does need levels, but he's a terrible farmer. So I'm kind of interested to see how he's going to be playing out here in this game, but kind of leads me to think that you're probably not going to be seeing many team fights coming out from Revolution without having that Hellbringer ultimate ready.
Yeah.
He still has the minus magic armor, which is something that you would say that, well, if you can get minus magic armor on a team like Revolution, that spells danger because they love to get that magic damage out.
Yeah, I was actually double-checking it as well. The Hellbringer was seen actually 5 times in total during Cycle 1. Quincy not here today, so unfortunately don't have him to just ask real quickly. But yeah, so he was seen 5 times. And again, I think most of them was Revolution, though. But yeah, the ultimate, of course, that's always something that stood the test of time. It's always been a very strong ability, the Summon Malphus. It's just his skill set in general, of where do you land and where all these question marks here for the longest time. But yeah, the changes kind of open the door to that. It's safe to say, with the laning phase especially, he can be ran as a support, he can be ran as a main farmer actually, and we see right here with that Moira pickup, it looks like we got our answer of what it's going to possibly be. More of a farming Hellbringer here even is very likely. And I also think that they're known for running a Suicide Meraxis, to be honest. So I would not be surprised if that is a Suicide Meraxis here coming out for them.
Suicide Meraxis definitely works. It's a powerful choice, and I like not going Suicide Meraxis would probably not make a lot of sense here because Hellbringer is not really a hero that you want to be farming with. You want to put him middle, or you want to put him solo short, but you definitely don't want to like secure him farm. So either we are going to be expecting a Suicide Meraxes, Hellbringer mid, and a dual lane short, or we'll see a Meraxes mid and maybe a pseudo tri-lane, a tri-lane even, a Hellbringer short. I definitely don't think we'll see it otherwise.
All right, we'll see what the fourth and fifth final picks are. As the fourth pick coming out for Russian Dargots over here. By the way, they went with a Parasite, Kraken, and Andromeda themselves. So Parasite, obviously Pex, you had such a fantastic game on it last time, but Russian Dargon's taking it for themselves with that first pick. I also was, again, kind of confirming right there that, sure enough, yeah, Hellbringer was seen 5 times, and, well, all 5 of them happened to be in the hands of Revolution, actually. So, yeah, they were the one team that ran him here in Cycle 1 in the group stages, at least, and at least did their best with it. But we do see the Flux coming out from Russian Dargon, so getting that Flux Kraken synergy. I wonder if that means Engineer's also around the corner. No, probably not. They already have the Andromeda, so wouldn't necessarily make the most sense here. But Flux is a hero that honestly we haven't seen a whole lot of here in Psycho 1 so far, which I don't know. I find a little interesting because he didn't really get any chain. Like, nothing happened to him. It just simply kind of died off a little bit going into Psycho 1. Does that surprise you a little bit? I mean, as far as the lack of Flux?
Well, there are heroes that you can learn to react to, and there are heroes that are just in general really powerful in any situation. Magnus is one of those heroes that it's pretty much impossible to react to because he'll always have that easy stun, he'll always have that easy ultimate, and he's just plain old Magnus. Like, you know what you get. Lux, however, is a hero that you can learn to adapt to, learn to play against, because he is that hero that relies so much on positioning and relies so much on your teammates getting caught a little bit out of position, and his laning stage is also highly dependent on your opponent not knowing how to lane against Lux, for instance. So that's pretty much my thesis on it, I guess.
All right. The
There we go.
carry option, probably the last one left here for Russian Dargons, unless they plan on doing something really funky. But is there a carry that comes to mind? I mean, I guess there's only 5 seconds left, so.
Soul Eater.
Ah, you
Okay,
should have said
Queen.
Moon Queen, of course. Of course it would be Moon Queen. Wow, it's actually Moon Queen. Okay. Moon Queen, we have not seen this here in a long time. I'm going to double check right now, and I think I know the answer. Yeah, we did not see her at all Cycle 1. I cannot recall the last time we saw Moon Queen, honestly. It's been a long time.
Well, if you look at the Legion side, it looks like a draft they've picked up from 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of is that. And there's kind of the funky pick that we can always count on from Revolution. I mean, they already had the Hellbringer, but then they throw a Gladiator on top of that to finish it all off. So they like the Gladiator as well. And Gladiator has definitely been a hero that has been getting at least a little bit of attention from some teams, Revolution being one of them, apparently. With that call to arms especially, it's a fantastic tool to use. But it's going to be played, of course, more as a ganking Gladiator here rather than an actual farming Gladiator with this lineup. So we got a lot to kind of analyze here, though, FJ. So let's start with that Moon Queen. Where's the Moon Queen coming from? Do you think it actually is going to be a good pick here?
Yeah. I mean, if she's allowed to deal damage, which she probably will be in teamfights due to the fact that there's a Flux and there's a Kraken to keep his opponents away, well, Moon Queen is a high damage dealer. And she's also, like, if you need to like look at the greed level of both teams, and, well, seeing as the help on side, Revolution did pick up both Gladiator and Dark Lady, kind of leads towards them not team fighting, at least forcing team fights early on. They'll probably react to team fights because they have easy ways of defending a tower. You know, the Hellbringer ultimate, the Gladiator ultimate, the Meraxes synergy with the Meraxes initiate, and Moira ultimate. I mean, it's very easy to defend towers. It's not that easy to initiate on team fights as the help on side early on. So it will get time for the Moon Queen to farm a little bit and get that Whispering Elm Shrunken Head, possibly even the Firebrand to Urbane before actually go ahead and fight. I think Moon Queen will do well in this game. I actually want to say that I actually prefer the draft of the Legion side a little bit more to the Hellborn side.
Okay. The overall idea of it, and yeah, I mean, obviously they got the Wamba combo with, of course, the Flux and the Kraken, and that on top of the Moon Finale, yeah, Moon Finale here from Moon Queen is some pretty damn good synergy. Actually, they have the saving tool with the Andromeda. It really does come together nicely, doesn't it? Here, and the laning phase seems like it should be fairly obvious. I'm expecting, I guess, we're going to see a short lane Moon Queen with the Andro. It's basically a pseudo tri-lane bottom. You got Kraken. Suicide with Flux mid, I guess we'd see here. This is definitely an old school lineup, the more I'm thinking about it too, you're right. You see that here. Yeah, Kraken Suicide, that's something we really haven't seen in a long time either. But possibly going to happen here. Unless they want to do a long lane like an Andro Flux lane with Parasite aggressive and have a solo Moon Queen. But could you see something like that happening, or is it probably going to be the safe route here?
Well, have you seen the Hellborn lineup? I mean, they have no jungler. Well, they have Gladiator. Hexu is the jungler. I've seen Gladiator jungle before, but I don't know. I hope not. I guess I don't know. I'm imagining the scenario where Team Russian Dragons imagines Gladiator being in jungle, and because they imagine that, they put Parasite in enemy jungle. Which would make it so difficult for Gladiator's jungle. And Kraken Andromeda has an easy time against Darkling and Moira. So they could definitely do that. They could definitely do that and then put Moon Queen solo bottom. Just have yeah, they could and put just Fox middle. That would work. Definitely work.
Alright, well, we'll see what they ultimately come up with here. We are in the pause, of course, hopefully not too much longer here. Just needed a quick break. Yeah, it's even Fabelli reminding right there, especially being a streamed match, not allowed to pause longer than that. And I find that happens a lot, where one guy brings something up, a point like that, and it's like, okay, go. It's like, why were we even in the pause? But I don't know. Anyway, strat pauses are a thing. They want to make sure that there is a bit on the line here. This is a pretty big deal. Not only does it mean, again, Diamond Division compared to Gold, it's obviously, it's not only the step up in terms of competition, but you're guaranteed so many more matches with the new format, the group stages. Every team plays 14 games in the group stages, and especially for these younger, lesser experienced teams, newer teams, that's not only just more chance to get experience, but I would think more fun. I mean, that's why all these players play this game, I would hope so at least. You know, it's just enjoyable at this level of play, and a lot more chances to play at it, you know, being in Diamond. And then, of course, there's a prize pool on top of that. You get a lot bigger share of the prize pool compared to that of the Gold Division, who only the top 3 teams even get a piece of it. So we have a possible clash right here. Look at Flux. Man, if he ate through those trees, they could have possibly tried to set up a flank, but at the same time, I don't think they're really comfortable with their level 1, probably. Parasite kind of weakens that a bit. And, yeah, they are going to ultimately let them do their thing. In the end, they fall back from it. So, one block put out here from Fizzmeister on the Rune Camp, you can call it here, so we'll see if they take care of that or not. Rev Ward, I'm guessing, coming out on the courier. Yep. Will Parasite be able to get it is the question. Mr. Humble here. So the lanes, they're turning out, at least on the Legion side, kind of expected. It is going to be the Moraxis Suicide here. Hellbringer will end up mid, and Gladiator
will end up jungling.
Okay. This should be fun. Huh.
Well, I mean, if Parasite just reacts to this, then it's going to be so easy to shut down that Gladiator. It does seem like Parasite is going to be sticking to his own jungle. I kind of dislike that decision, I gotta admit. But, hey, maybe if they can get some kills on Moraxis, it'll be worth it. Gladiator will get some farm there, and he didn't have to get farm. It wasn't necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how Hexu does here. I would think you have to really be on top of the stacks here. That's really most jungler at this level of play. You definitely would have to be, of course, but wants to make sure to maximize his potential as far as damage output. You see, kill him outside of the camp. Gonna get another spawn right here, so starting off pretty well is Hexu on the Jungle Gladiator. 2 words I never thought I would say one after the other here in a Heroes of New Earth match, but Can always count on Revolution once again. It seems like they're the team that will do some crazy things here. And again, they're the ones that are up 1-0 right now. So Parasite insisting on staying in his own jungle currently. Going to take over Vulture Lord here, continue to farm that way. Kraken in the Suicide Lane top, going up against what is a Dark Lady and a Moira with a possible Gladiator nearby. So what was that about? Did he... Oh, he pitfalled right there. Okay. I guess the ganking potential of Gladiator is not too bad either, being in the jungle there, compared to certain junglers, so that actually seems like it might be a pretty good threat here in the jungle. It's just a matter of will he be able to get the overall farm going. But I don't know, do you expect this to be an aggressive or a pretty stale game early on?
Stale game, I'd say. But I gotta say that Andromeda hasn't done anything to shut down this Miraxis. Miraxis is now level 3. He does have Arcane Shield, he does have more axes. Q-Sync cannot even comment him anymore, seeing as he can just pop the Arcane Shield and possibly even turn around on the Andromeda. So, I don't know. The laning setup coming out from Russian Darkens is definitely not on par. It's very mediocre, it seems. And they let a Gladiator free farm in the jungle. I mean, granted, Gladiator's not farming quickly or anything. But I'm just very disagreeing with the lane setup.
Yeah.
Kraken is not doing too well on his lane. Miraxis is doing very well on his Suicide.
Oh, very nice discharge right there from Flex. Or more so, release, excuse me, and ends up getting the kill onto Hellbringer. The release, I say that because pulled him in with the blue, of course, the blue magnetic surge, and then he swapped and hit the release maximum range. You could tell because Hellbringer was really slowed as he was trying to run away right there and ultimately could not get away from the incoming Andromeda roaming over and setting up the Bloodlust kill right there. So Catlamine on the Flux actually getting credit for the Bloodlust kill even, and he's really taken off there now in the middle lane. 430 plus gold per minute, him in the Hellbringer matchup. Creep farm wise, it's 20-4 Flux right now versus an 8-3 Hellbringer. So even outside of the kill, Flux seems like he's been overall having a very good time here against Hellbringer. Would that be expected to you, or would you expect Hellbringer to actually do a little better here?
Well, Flux is a very powerful hero in the middle lane, and obviously with an Andromeda who can definitely gank and do some big works as Q-Sync just did. I'm very glad that he did that because I was a little bit disappointed with his performance not dealing with that Miraxis. But it's very nice to see him trying to get a gang off in the middle and succeeding in doing so. And Flux having those boots soon can definitely do a lot to that Hellbringer. He's going to be level 6 soon. And Flux level 6 with boots against the Hellbringer and with Andromeda and Parasite to help him. Speaking of which, by the way, there's some difficulties for him in the middle lane. He does get pitfalled here. And can he actually get away?
Things you would not expect as a Flux mid. All of a sudden a pitfall coming in from a jungle Gladiator, but sure enough, he does actually get away. That's Flux for you as well. He may not have the greatest escape mechanism, but doesn't need it when he has, or is so tanky, really. Nearly 1,000 life already this early on in the game. Miraxis, meanwhile, bottom lane. It is 3 versus 1. That means Doka, or Russian Dargons even, are going to come out on top there as they collapse on Miraxis. So things seem to be off to a much better start here in game number 2 in favor of the Russian Dargons, as now a 2-0 hero kill lead as well. Looking out for them. So Dark Lady, though, Squirry, she's getting the free farm here at the top lane like you would expect, especially in this matchup here. So that is once again the concern, just like it was last game, is address the Dark Lady sooner than later if you're this Legion side here. So
I'm actually really liking what I'm seeing here in Pexu. He's using the Delusion stack here. Actually look at top lane, by the way. Kraken getting into a lot of trouble, and Moira would actually take credit for that kill on the Kraken. Very well done.
Yeah, chasing down.
That's the power of Moira. So much damage, so suddenly, so good stun, so long range stun as well. With that mimic, of course.
It's freaking strong, man. The Charizard gun is a really strong ability for sure. So. Good synergy there, too, with the charging strikes of Dark Lady, able to get in there as soon as it's applied, or, right after it, at least. So here comes a Wild Hunter Parasite, by the way. You can tell, figuring, okay, yeah, there's a jungling Gladiator, maybe not the strongest jungle hero. I'll maybe try to find him. As I say that, though, he turns around really quickly. It's like he was thinking about going into the jungle with it, but And he decided not to for whatever reason. So now he's going to go back into his own, and we'll end up getting a Vagabond leader over here. So again, not necessarily a big kill potential minion. As Gladiator, speaking of kills, he's coming to the middle, but Calamine, he's feeling something. He knows something might be up. There is no vision, just simply, it is a level 6 Hellbringer, I guess. So that's also something that's kind of making him a little scared here. I want to get jumped in, but well, he'll tempt fate a little bit right there, but nothing happens as a result, as now Gladiator not nearby. So fine for the time being. What, let's start with Gladiator here, especially being a jungle Gladiator. Is there something that you would like to see on him as far as build goes?
Well, his role is being a semi-carry this game. That means that he's... Oh, look at top lane, by the way.
This is going to happen. The Mana Sunder, a couple more auto attacks. Yep, Fizzmeister again getting credit for the kill. Meanwhile, to bottom lane, Moraxis is going to be fine, actually. Trucks on away. In the meantime, middle lane, Malphus comes down. Holy crap, look at that damage. That was just Hellbringer. He did have a double damage rune, but still, that was impressive stuff nonetheless. The Demon Strike, he landed both of them, ends up getting the kill. Bottom lane back down here, showdown. It pulls back in, Moon Queen, the call to arms, and it hits Moon Queen, and she's going to fall. Remember, the buff it also applies. Gladiator holding his ground, as now Enteralmada gets caught off to the side. She's going to fall. Holy crap, the momentum all of the sudden for Revolution right here is pretty big. Now a 5-2 hero kill lead. They've gotten 5 hero kills in a row, basically, since the 2 first from Russian Dargons here.
The plays coming out from, once again, Pexu on point. He knew where to be. He actually picked up a TP just for that to happen, I guess. And sure, it paid off. Very well done by Pexu once again, being sort of a shining star in this game. Doing very well. Just for that, he just made himself a god of this game. And now he went ahead and went for the ghost matches. And I would, like I said, we were talking about him being a sort of a semi-carry this game. So that means that he probably will not go for those carry rift shot items to begin with. I would not be surprised to see Helm Black Legion. Like, Helm Black Legion is an item we very rarely see, but it would be an item that I wouldn't mind seeing in this game. Seeing as like it's very easy to initiate on the Hellborn side when you have the Flux, when you have the Kraken, and there's a lot of match damage. So I wouldn't mind seeing Helm Black Legion Mystic Vestment then into some damage.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gladiator, looked like we could see some action here. He does have another ultimate ready.
Here we go as the showdown's applied, the pitfall, the combo. He knows what he's doing. Call to arms comes out. You see Enteralmada going to do what she can. She's only level 4 though, so no swap or anything like that. Moon Queen somehow still alive to the push. They use every damn thing but the flagellation. Enteralmada gets hit by it, and so does Moon Queen as a result. She ends up falling. The dive continues. Andro's going to fall. Parasite does chase down Gladiator for a 2-for-1 exchange. Still in favor, though, of the Hellborn team, and that will be the end of it. So the hasted Hellbringer comes in. Good thing for the Legion side he didn't have a Malphus back up, or that could have even been worse. But not only do they come out on top to this Revolution as far as hero kills and exchanging goes, but in the meantime, Dark Lady continuing her thing at the top lane. This is going to be a tower kill up here because there is nobody nearby for the time being. So Dark Lady, well, maybe not actually. They're playing a little safe as... they don't have the vision that we do, but they will eventually get it as we see. And there we go. But Revolution, just bigger, better league coming out for them. And yeah, this jungle Gladiator most certainly has been a fun to watch here from Pexu, as he's being very mobile with it. And back-to-back now call to arms that have landed very easily here. And done a lot of work in this game so far. So... Russian Dargons, I mean, what do they do? Moon Queen, she's not getting the farm that they were hoping for. Is there rotations that you think they could obviously make right here? Or what's the game plan if you're Russian Dargons?
I want to say play safe. Simply because we need to see more levels on Moon Queen before they can actually fight. Keep stacking, let Moon Queen get her stuff. He does have the first part of the Whispering Helm now. Obviously Kraken, and look at that, speaking of Kraken, by the way, he does get initiated off in the middle lane and Hellbringer. Should fall here? Yes, he will. Finally does use the ultimate, though.
Oh, my God. I mean, the reaction of him, yeah, the fact that he even got the ultimate out right there, that wasn't enough lockdown, but still not enough for the kill. However, Moira coming in, looking to clean up Kraken. I think this is going to kill him. Oh, never mind. He had a lot more life than I thought. The health push and kept him alive. So He is fine in the end, actually. But, yeah, Hellbringer definitely put up a fight there in the middle lane before going down. Now, Malphus was used, as you pointed out, too, and that's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's a fairly long cooldown, of course, so that's of importance. Meanwhile, middle lane, again, here we go. The Coat of Arms comes out. Flux, he's going to fall like a parasite. He's just sitting in the Hell Cannon, like, not much more I can do. He's not opening because knows that wouldn't even be enough anyway, so he's just playing it safe. But, well, 3 Coat of Arms, all 3 of them setting up in at least 1 kill here for the Gladiator.
I gotta say, Gladiator is definitely proving its worth. It's a nice niche pick. It's a curveball, and we don't see it often. And we definitely don't see it often in the jungle. And speaking of Gladiator, he might do something to the Andromeda right here, and yes, he will be initiating upon him. And I don't even know. Gladiator is playing so well right here, and see Russian Dargans are just falling right into the arms of the Gladiator.
They are. They definitely are. And look at the build that he's going for, by the way. It's kind of bulking up a little bit, but in a different way, more of a team item goes the Astrolabe, actually, instead of something like the Helm. And Helm is something we actually have seen a couple times. In fact, Drunken Master, we've actually seen him play it a little bit lately. I've brought it up that where he's actually got it. Several different players have actually gotten that item on him. But so yeah, I really wouldn't have been awkward to see it by any means on Gladiator here. But yeah, he goes the Astrolabe instead. What do you think of that?
I think it's like Astrolabe is in general a really good pickup against Flux and Moon Queen because like all the damage is predictable, and you will obviously be standing close to your teammates due to the Flux ultimate. So in that sense, then Astrolabe makes a lot of sense, and even a Barrier would make lots of sense on Gladiator here. He chose to go for that route, and I think that's great. Dark Lady, by the way, went for the Rune Dax now, and yeah, it's on the way on the courier. So now we'll see him farming ahead.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that I really like about Hellbourne's lineup is that the only ones that actually need farm is the Dark Lady and the Gladiator. So the rest can sort of just lean back, stack, and take team fights and get the gold from assist. I think that's really wise to make drafting like that, because when you see a Parasite, he will always try to get farm in the jungle. Moon Queen needs to take over the jungle, which is not something that the Parasite would like. Definitely not. And Flux also wants to bulk up, so does Kraken. So the lineup of the Legion side is very farm dependent, whereas the lineup from the Hellborn side really just requires Mirax to get a PK, and then you can follow it up by Gladiator and Dark Lady taking the rest of the farm.
Oh my gosh, I feel like we've seen this before. Deja Vu coming out, man. Call to arms again. Moon Queen's going to end up falling right here. You see Parasite. Oh, the Arcane Vortex going to catch him. Here's the team support, though. Andros here is still no swap, though. Only level 5. Parasite going to end up falling. Kraken and Flux come into the release on top of the release. The Kraken gets 1 kill on a Gladiator, but still Mirax is holding his ground. And now here comes Dark Lady as the cover of darkness is thrown out. You can tell the Legion team in a pretty chaotic mode, as usually would be. Because of that cover of darkness, Flux, he's going to end up dying. Hellbringer, he's going to try to chase down this Kraken, and a Demon Strike should do it. Oh, he missed the first one. He has a second one, though. Might not even matter. There we go. Easy kill on a Kraken, and the lead is just getting out of hand now for Revolution as, again, they're already up 1-0 in the series. That win here would do it in and officially keep them in the Diamond Division, where Russian Dargons will have to once again go back to the gold. So, pretty big deal. That's why, if anything, I'm not expecting an early concede here by any means. But, man, it's got to be a pretty demoralizing spot right now if you're Russian Dargons. Fabelli, I mean, he has a Whispering Hell, but he just can't get anything consistent. And I don't know if that's going to change.
Well, we're in a situation right now where the only thing that we receive from Revolution is that they will take over the enemy jungle, they will take over Ancients, and they can sit on the position they are in right now. They should definitely win any team fight, seeing as the experience and goal lead is as significant as it is. So Russian Dargons to win will be not only about them playing well, but also about Revolution playing poorly. So I'd say the chances are slim, because the late game is also in favor of the lead of the Hellborn side. So it's scary.
But it's never over, FJ.
It's never over. I'm sorry, it's never over.
So we still have a fight.
Usain just died.
It's never over, but it's just getting worse at the same time for them, unfortunately. So Flux, he's going to sit nearby. He does have a discharge ready to go here. looking for an opportunity, but not going to find it as, oh, Parasite running in, but no, Flux is going to be jumped first. Easy kill onto him. You see Fallen Hunter and Parasite just running on through again several times now. He's nearby, but not a whole lot he can do by himself. All 5 are here pushing. What do you do against this? It's tough. I mean, the call to arms is good to go on Gladiator, remember. And not only is that a great damage buff, but it'll also buff his team up if they try to make a team fight. So, yeah, you cannot team fight now if you're Russian Argons. They just have to give it up completely right here. You know, the more I'm thinking about it, too, the reason why this game's not over yet, because, you know, what was the one craziest comeback we've seen as far as that 30,000 deficit of golden experience? What hero was in that game that made the comeback realistic? It wasn't Moon Queen, sure enough. So there's always hope. There's always fight when you have a Moon Queen, I guess. But it is a difficult task for anyone. So
I'm crossing fingers. I want to see more games.
I know, right? I'm hoping for definitely this one to play out for sure as well. But Revolution, they're not. They want to just end this as soon as possible, and they're kind of showing that.
You know what? Like, the funny thing is that Revolution is a team consistent of a lot of players that are not significantly high up on the ladder. And I realize that I shouldn't say this because a lot of podcast viewers will hate me for this. But it's somewhat known that high-rated teams will be also teams with high-rated players on the ladder, I guess. Like,
yeah.
that's what you normally associate it with. And we don't see that on Revolution. They're just, in general, really good team. They have a lot of synergy. They play really well. They have good captaining, good drafts. Awesome. Oh, look at that team fight that's going to be happening right here. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is actually a big chance for the Legion side. Oh, never mind. Cover of Darkness. Malphus comes out of the Coat of Arms. You know, even with a huge jump chance, I mean, you cannot ask for much better positioning there if you're the Legion side to make an initiation happen, yet it still just completely fell apart. A 4-for-0 exchange. And Flux is going to be at the bottom lane just trying to simply live now as, well, he'll be fine, I guess. But, yeah, another just disastrous fight there for them. Interesting point you are making, though, about how Revolution as a team. I also think that kind of makes it even more impressive because, again, you're right. I mean, these newer teams, even, at least there's a case of like, oh, yeah, I know this player in the TMMC and he's really known and higher up on the ladder and these players. And it's cool to see them finally competing, but yeah, from my understanding, these guys aren't necessarily the most known in the world, but yeah, that's where you got to respect it almost that much more. It's not easy to form a team and advance on in the Han Tour especially and get to Diamond in the first place. Yet they've really shown that you can make it work. You don't necessarily need to be these top tier ladder players that just form a team together because you're all high on the ladder or whatever. You can be a team that I assume that they're friends beforehand, perhaps at least to an extent, and they've made it work here. And with that said, obviously the game comes to a conclusion as we're rambling on there. But Revolution, it was pretty obvious for most of that game. They want to stay in Diamond. And so they are. So congratulations to Revolutions. That's got to be a pretty good feeling. It's especially for these newer teams like this, that knowing that yet again they're going to be in Diamond and going to play a lot more matches, trying to compete some more here at this top tier play. At the other side of the spectrum, it's got to sting a little bit. If you're Russian Dargons, knowing that you're so close here, yet you've come up short. Once again, just like the qualifiers, unfortunately. That's got to hurt. But FJ, what are your final thoughts here on this game 2?
I just want to go ahead and say well played to Revolution. That it certainly is awesome to see a team like that do so damn well in a scene that's so difficult. Like, it's a scene full of top, like, high-rated players, and these ones are giving them a huge run for it. And definitely, Revolution is showing themselves to be amongst high-rated teams. I would definitely not be surprised to see them within, like, top 6 in the next cycle if they keep on practicing.
Yeah,